In the summer of 2025, President Donald Trump's administration announced sweeping new tariffs, marking a dramatic escalation in the ongoing debate over global trade. The announcement came during a highly anticipated press conference at the White House, where President Trump and his top economic advisors outlined a bold new strategy to reshape America's trading relationships. The news sent shockwaves through financial markets, shaking the global economic landscape and leaving investors scrambling to reassess their positions. Almost immediately, analysts began to speculate about the far-reaching consequences for both the U.S. and its trading partners. The policy, set for August, aimed to protect U.S. industries and address persistent trade deficits, but it triggered immediate market volatility. Investors watched nervously as stock prices fluctuated and uncertainty rippled through the business community. The tariffs package included several aggressive measures: a 35% levy on Canadian imports not covered by USMCA, targeting a wide range of goods from lumber to auto parts and agricultural products. In addition, 15-20% tariffs were imposed on other major trading partners, affecting everything from electronics to consumer goods. Brazil, Japan, and South Korea faced even steeper rates, with some sectors seeing tariffs climb as high as 25%, raising concerns about retaliatory actions and the future of international cooperation. Global markets reacted with apprehension. U.S. stock futures dipped sharply, and trading floors buzzed with speculation about the next moves from Washington and abroad. The Canadian dollar fell, reflecting fears of economic fallout and the potential for a prolonged downturn in cross-border trade. Supporters of the tariffs argued that these measures would finally level the playing field for American workers, revitalize domestic manufacturing, and encourage companies to bring jobs back to the U.S. Meanwhile, critics warned of a potential trade war, higher consumer prices, and disruptions to supply chains that could ripple through the entire economy. Economists debated whether the benefits would outweigh the risks. The agricultural sector especially braced for impact, knowing it often bears the brunt of retaliatory measures from trading partners. Farmers worried about losing access to key export markets and facing lower prices for their crops. This move reignited a fierce debate over whether tariffs truly benefit American industries or risk broader economic harm. Business leaders, politicians, and experts appeared on news programs, each offering their own predictions and warnings. As uncertainty spread, farmers and businesses scrambled to assess the real-world consequences. Many small business owners feared rising costs and shrinking profit margins, while exporters worried about losing their competitive edge. The stage was set for a turbulent season in global trade, with the world watching closely to see how these bold new policies would reshape the economic order. Amid the tariff turmoil, a rumor swept through farming communities. U.S. corn shipments were being blocked at ports or rejected by buyers. The image of overflowing silos fueled panic, but there was no evidence, no official reports, no credible news, no port authority statements. The story was a product of anxiety, not reality, amplified by social media and economic stress. Farmers, facing low prices and uncertainty, found the rumor a simple explanation for complex problems. In truth, the challenge wasn't a physical blockade, but economic prices were falling, not shipments. Misdiagnosing the problem risked misdirected anger and ineffective solutions. The real issue was rooted in market dynamics, not conspiracy. Understanding this distinction was crucial for finding real answers. Contrary to widespread rumors and speculation, U.S. corn exports in the summer of 2025 were not just strong, they were among the best seen in recent memory. Despite concerns about global competition and shifting trade policies, American corn found eager buyers around the world, reinforcing the country's reputation as a top agricultural exporter. New crop export commitments soared to 463.7 million bushels, marking the second highest level in several years. Meanwhile, old crop sales surged 27% compared to the previous year, signaling a robust appetite for U.S. corn on the global stage and providing hope for American farmers. Major buyers included Mexico, which remains a steadfast partner, and unknown destinations, a term often used for large undisclosed purchases, highlighting the broad and sometimes mysterious nature of global demand. Yet, in a twist that frustrated many, this export boom didn't translate into higher prices. December futures hovered stubbornly near $4.06 per bushel, and cash prices in many regions were even lower, leaving farmers with little to celebrate financially. For countless growers, these prices fell below the cost of production, making it difficult to cover expenses, let alone turn a profit. The real culprit wasn't a lack of demand, but rather a record-shattering harvest. Projections for the 2025 crop neared an astonishing 16 billion bushels, flooding the market with more corn than ever before. Excellent Midwest growing conditions, plenty of rain, sunshine, and ideal temperatures fueled this bumper crop, creating a glut that pushed prices down even as exports soared. In the end, farmers found themselves trapped by their own success, producing and selling more corn than ever, but earning less for every bushel. It was a classic case of supply overwhelming demand, with overflowing grain bins and elevators across the heartland. This paradox left many in rural America questioning the true rewards of bumper crops and wondering what the future holds for U.S. agriculture in a world of abundance. With the U.S. imposing a 35% tariff on many Canadian goods, some speculated Canada might benefit by capturing new corn markets. However, trade data showed no surge in Canadian corn exports or premium deals. Canada's corn production is small compared to the U.S., and it often imports as much as it exports. The idea of Canada cashing in was more myth than reality. Canadian producers focused on adapting to new trade barriers, not exploiting them. The U.S. remains Canada's largest market, and uncertainty weighed heavily on both sides. In global grain trade, shifts are rarely simple or one-sided. The scale and infrastructure of U.S. corn can't be easily replaced. The narrative of Canada's windfall was just another oversimplification in a complex market. While U.S.-Canada trade tensions dominated headlines and captured the attention of policymakers and the public alike, another story was quietly unfolding further south. Brazil, often overlooked in the shadow of North American giants, steadily remained a formidable competitor in the global corn market, building its reputation year after year. Thanks to its unique climate and innovative farming techniques, Brazil can produce not just one, but two large corn crops annually, a feat that gives it a powerful edge over many rivals. Even as Brazil faced new U.S. tariffs on other agricultural exports, its corn industry continued to thrive, adapting quickly to shifting global trade dynamics. In July 2025, Brazil shipped 2.43 million metric tons of corn abroad. While this was a decrease from the previous year, it still represented a significant share of the world's corn exports, underscoring Brazil's resilience. Brazil's consistent presence in the market helps keep global corn prices in check, acting as a counterbalance whenever supply or demand shifts. If U.S. corn becomes too expensive or unreliable due to trade disputes or weather disruptions, international buyers don't hesitate to look south to Brazil for their supply. This fierce competition puts pressure on U.S. farmers, squeezing their profit margins and making it harder to plan for the future. Even in years when American harvests are strong and silos are full, the threat of losing market share to Brazil looms large. Today's global corn market is truly multipolar, with several countries vying for dominance and influence. Brazil, with its growing infrastructure and expanding export capacity, is always ready to step in and fill any gaps left by its competitors. For American farmers, this means that dominance in the corn market is no longer a given. It must be earned and protected. Ongoing trade disputes and policy uncertainty risk ceding valuable ground to international rivals, making cooperation and stability more important than ever. Stable, predictable trade relationships are vital for U.S. farmers to maintain their competitive edge and secure their livelihoods. Any uncertainty or disruption in trade opens the door for competitors like Brazil to capture lasting market share, reshaping the future of global agriculture. The summer of 2025 brought a cruel irony for American farmers' record crops but sinking profits. Ideal weather and advanced techniques produced a historic corn harvest, but the market was flooded. Even with strong exports, oversupply drove prices below production costs. Buyers had little incentive to pay more, knowing desperate farmers would sell at a loss. New tariffs added instability, fueling market caution and further depressing prices. The real pain came from the intersection of bumper yields, global competition, and unpredictable trade policy. Farmers faced risks beyond their control. Weather, markets, and politics all converged. Success in the field didn't guarantee success at the bank. The result, a record harvest, but a bitter financial reality. In 2025, sensational headlines and social media amplified confusion about the corn market. Stories of trade wars and blockades spread quickly, but the real issue was economic. Too much corn, not blocked exports. The record harvest, not foreign policy, drove prices down. Misinformation led to misplaced anger and unproductive solutions. Understanding the true cause, oversupply, opened the door to practical responses, like risk management and new markets. For policymakers, acting on false narratives risked making things worse. Clear-eyed analysis was essential for effective support. The gap between perception and reality shaped both public opinion and policy. Only by focusing on facts could the agricultural sector find a way forward. The struggles of corn farmers ripple far beyond the fields. While low corn prices might seem good for consumers, the effect on grocery bills is minimal. Corn is a small part of most food costs. The real impact is felt in rural economies. When farmers lose money, local businesses suffer, jobs are lost, and communities weaken. Prolonged low prices threaten the stability of the food supply as unprofitable farms close or consolidate. The health of American agriculture underpins the nation's economic vitality. Short-term consumer savings can't offset long-term risks to food security. A sustainable farm sector is essential for everyone, not just those who work the land. The fate of farmers and consumers is deeply intertwined. The events of 2025 revealed a new reality for American agriculture: volatility, complexity, and fierce competition. Farmers must now master not just growing crops, but navigating global trade, market swings, and policy shifts. Success will require technology, diversification, and strategic risk management. Advocacy and clear communication with policymakers are more important than ever. For consumers, supporting stable trade and a robust safety net for farmers is an investment in food security. The lessons of 2025 are clear. Abundance can't be taken for granted. Building a resilient future means innovation, fair trade, and ensuring farmers can earn a sustainable living. The health of the American heartland is both vital and vulnerable in a connected world.